Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming along. I see there's still a few people coming in, so we'll just get started in a second. Hopefully you can all hear me. If you can't, you should have a chat window and a Q&A window as well. So what we'll do, I'll just go through some of the features that we're going to talk about, which was messages and parent contributions. And if you have any questions at all, stick them into that Q&A window, and when I get to the end, I'll try and go through all those. I did one of these yesterday. We had a whole heap of questions. I don't think it's going to be as busy today, but hopefully we'll try and answer some of the questions as we go through the features. Hi, Leslie Ann. She says hi there, and so does Chris. Okay, so I'll just get started then. So hopefully you can, let me just make sure you can see my screen. Yes, you should be able to see the screen there. So we've got our demonstration account here. This is one that I show to people when I go out and visit nurseries or schools or do the online demos. And what we're going to talk about are the messages and the parent contributions feature. So as you know, you've all been working from home for the last few days, and keeping in touch with parents has been a challenge. So we've accelerated the development of some of our features, and we've changed how some of those work. So we've got our messages feature here, if you can see up in the top right hand corner. So all manager level users, you will be able to see this by default. Everybody will have access to that, and it's always going to be up in the top navigation up here. You can choose to give that access to any other user. So whether it's a teacher or a principal or a key worker or whoever, you can give them access to that. So I'll quickly show you how to do that at the moment. So to give everybody access to the messages, you just go into your configuration configuration tab, and down on the left-hand side, there's an option called settings. Go into there, and down the very bottom of that page, if we get all the way down the bottom of here, we can see staff can send messages. So you can either have this set to yes or no. If you've got it set to yes, then the staff will be able to see this link up the top here as well. So you can enable that for all staff, or you can just give it to different staff. So if we go into our staff tab here, what we'll do is we will, let's have a look. So here's all the staff that we've got. And let's say we want to give Simone access to the messages. Click on edit. And when we get into Simone's page, there we go, we can see we've got a new option here to access messages, so we can just check that for Simone. So that's the way to give all your team access to the messages. Any questions about that, stick them up in the Q&A, and we'll get to those at the end. So let's see how we actually use the messages. So if I click on our messages tab over here, we'll get to see the ones that we've already sent. Now, when a message is sent out, the parent will get an email, which will have the content of that message, but they'll also get a notification through the parent app, and they'll be able to access that through the parent app as well. Now, when they get an email, they can reply to that email. That reply will go to whichever email address you have entered into this field here. This is actually already populated by the email address that's in your billing and contact, which is in your configuration tab. But if you want that to go to a separate email address, you can put that in there. As we speak, there's a little bug with this field that if we try to update it, it will cause an error. That's getting fixed about lunchtime today. So if anyone's trying to do that at the moment and they see an error, that will be fixed for them. So you can have any email address that you want in there. At the moment, we can only have one email address, so all replies will come to that. Now, the message system was never designed as a sort of communication tool to be back and forth. So it was really a sort of broadcast tool for you guys. So you could send messages out to the parents and give them information. It wasn't meant to be the sort of thing where you would send a message out, a parent could reply, etc. So it's maybe important to set expectations for the parents for that particular part of the system. Where we're taking this, we hope to develop this further so that, for example, in primary schools, the primary 7 teacher could send a message out to her primary 7 or his primary 7 pupils, and they could respond directly to that teacher. So at the moment, it all goes to one address, but we want to be able to do it so that replies could come to any particular staff member. Now, we've got another new feature, which I'll come to that in a second, but let's create a message so you can see how that all works. So if we go to new message here, this starts us off, and we've tried to make it as simple as we can. Same with everything in the system. All you've got to do really is just fill in all the details here. So we've got our title. So let's say that we're going to be doing our newsletter for the week. Newsletter for week, I'm just going to call it week 1. And then you would put your content in here. So you can have as much as you want in here. Everything you put in this section, that will go to, that will just be in the email that is sent to the parent. So you could either put the content of the newsletter here, or what you could do is you could attach files. So if you want to do a Word document or PDFs, you can do that here. And I've seen this used really well with, especially with primaries. For those of you in primary schools, they can attach homework or assignments or whatever you want to send out to parents. You can do that from this section here. You can then, we've got this new feature down here, which is to enable replies. So if we check this box, a reply button will be added to the email. You can uncheck that. There's going to be another couple of changes happening to that later on today. But yeah, this is just a way to either highlight or not hide, but just not highlight that you can reply to this email if you don't want them to. Then we can come over and choose our recipients over here. So when we choose our recipients, the good thing about the system is what we can do is we can choose who receives these messages. So I can check this box and say I want to send it to all my parents, and I've only got 3 rooms set up here: the baby room, toddler room, and 3 to 5s. So I can say I actually only want to send this to our 3 to 5s room, and you can list all the parents in that room, and here they all are. And then if I wanted to, I could say, well, actually, I only want to send that to the parents of one particular child, and that would do that here. So I can send that message out. You get one last chance, because once the message is sent, that's it gone, and you can't get it back again. So make sure that you're happy with what you're sending out. When you click OK, and that is the message sent. So within a minute or 1 or 2 minutes, the message will go out to all the parents that have been selected, and they will receive an email, and that message will be out. You can view the messages, of course, at any time here, and all the messages are saved here for you, so you can look at however, whichever ones you want to do here. Up in your okay, so that's messages. Is that kind of clear for everybody? Hopefully it is. It's really not much to that. There may be extra things that you want to do there. Now, Mary has just sent a question in, which I'll answer straight away because she's absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be a spell check on messages, and that's true. So on all other parts of the system, so when you're creating an observation or creating a story, we've got a spell check, or spell checks built into the browser. But when we come to adding our messages in here, the component that we've used to create this, it doesn't have a built-in spell check, and we're working on that. There's not a readily available solution, so it's going to take us a little bit of time to get to there. So what we would suggest at the moment is if you create your messages in a Word document or something like that, if you've got something, if it's a long message or there's a lot that you want to do there, create your messages in Word and spell check them there, and then you can copy and paste straight into this part here. So hopefully that helps, Mary, but we will try and get a solution for your spell check there. Okay, I'm going to move on to parent contributions now, because obviously this is a huge part of what's become important over the last couple of weeks. We've all moved to home learning. I've done it for 5 days now, and I'm glad that the weekend's coming. I've got a brand new appreciation for teachers and nursery workers and everyone who has to deal with home learning or learning with children. It's been very difficult, and I'm sure a lot of parents would echo that up and down the country. So what is really important is to enable you guys to be able to assist the parents home learning. And the way of doing that is through the parent contributions. Let me go and show you how we do that here. So a few extra questions have come in there. I'll come back to that. Lauren, I'll get to yours in a second. So our home parent contributions are what they look like once you've set them up. I'll quickly show you that. So if we go to a child here, so I'll go to one of our 3 to 5s. I'll choose Alistair. When you have set up a parent contribution section, they will appear as a blue button on the child's profile here, Achievements from Home. So we've called this one Achievements from Home. You can call it anything you want. And parents can come in here, if I click into this one, and they can upload their own photographs and their own descriptions. And here's a couple that we've got here. So we've got, you know, Alistair was out riding his bike, and then we were doing music lessons with the guitar, and you can upload pictures to those as well. The parents can do this, and this is a way for them to sort of contribute to the profiles. At the moment, any contributions that they add, they just live in this blue box in this page here. The ambition for this, and we've had to accelerate this as well, this is now our top priority, is for any parent contributions is to have them appear in the child's profile, along with all the observations from school and the stories from school and the stories from nursery here. So they would appear slotted into here, because as you know, we've got our observation here, you can have a story here as well, and we'll have a filter up here that you can show parent contributions. So that's the ambition, and we're about maybe a week away from getting that into there. So at the moment, all the parent contributions just live in this Achievements from Home section, or the blue buttons that you've got down here. So how do we create those? Let's show you that now. So let's say we go, let's do that. Let's go up to our, we need to go into our configuration tab again. And there's a section here called parent contributions. So if we go in here, you can have as many of these blue boxes as you want. So you can see here's my one here, Achievements from Home. And let's add a new one then. So I've seen one this week called News from Home. Another school had that. So let's call one News from Home. News from Home, for example. And we check the active box. And then when we click submit, that makes it active. So that box is now available to everybody. So we can now go back to our child. So I can just search. For those of you who don't know, you can actually search for child up in this box up here. Much quicker way of finding them. Go to their profile, and we'll then see that extra blue box that we've added in here. And wait for it to load up. Here it comes. So if we look down the left-hand side, we can now see we've got this News from Home box down here, and it can be. We can add that. We can add a new contribution here. So let's add a new contribution and show you how the parent does this through the web version of the system. So we add a new contribution in, and in a second I'll show you the parent app version, so you can see how parents do that as well. Now I don't know if you guys have had this sort of experience, but I think it's either a combination of everybody in my neighbourhood using the internet, or it's probably the kids doing something that's slowing things down. So I do apologise if it's a bit slow. So the way it works, we've got a title again. So let's say that we were doing some playing some number games. It would be the title there, and we would have any content we want. So Alistair had a lot of fun on Some Dog is one that we've been using. We do have spell check in there, Mary, if you're looking, if you're watching. And then we can upload a photo, and when we're doing it through the computer, it's just going to ask me to upload a picture from here. So I'll just choose one I've got already. One of the questions, I don't know if it's come up yet, but it was asked a lot yesterday, was about videos from parents. So at the moment, parents can only upload photographs. So with observations and stories, you guys, the staff, you can upload videos, but we've not allowed that for the parents, and there's a couple of reasons. One is it's very, very resource intensive on our system. A lot of the things that the system depends on are storage and streaming capabilities, and with a video, you've got a much larger file, and it takes a long time to upload and process. And we want to ensure that, because we know you guys will only upload videos that are relevant to what your child is learning, but parents may not do that. They may upload videos of things that are not related to their learning, and that would be very taxing on our system. So we need to try and limit that. We're trying to work out a way of how we could open up videos to the parents, but we will continue to work on that. So at the moment, videos are not available for parents to use, is the short answer there. So let's click on submit. So there's our little parent contribution done from News from Home, playing some number games. Now, when this is added, you guys will obviously want to know that it's been added. If we go to our Home tab here, what we should be able to see is, so let me refresh that again, there we go. Yeah, we've got a new parent contribution here. So in our Home tab, where we've got our observations, our notifications, parent interactions, and parent contributions, we click on our parent contribution, we should see the new one that's just been added. And there we go, it was Alistair Harling, News from Home, created by Marion. So this would normally come up with a parent's name, and we can go and view that there. So this is how you would tell if there's any new contributions being added. We don't send out notifications for these currently. That's something we're also going to review. The notifications, just to quickly touch on that, because at the moment you'll get the parents get notifications when messages come out. You guys get your notifications at the weekend if children haven't had any observations, and we want to try and make sure that we're not bombarding everybody with notifications, with emails, with things that pop up on phones, because we really don't want to confuse anybody or make things more difficult for you. So there's maybe more that we could do with notifications, but we want to take that slowly and do that carefully. So we're trying to prioritize things here. So we will get notifications sorted soon. Now, what I'd maybe like to do is show you the Parents app, because, right, if I can share my phone with you now. This did work yesterday, so let's see if it works again today. Okay, so I'm hoping you can see my phone there. Now what I've got, so you can see my phone, you can see my notifications that I've got there. So there's someone at the door. But you can also see that we've got, down the bottom, we've got a new parent message. That's one we just sent a few minutes ago. So if I open up my phone here, what you can see, I've got to authorize this every time. If I go through my apps and go all the way to my last page, if you see at the top line there, we've got our LJ Parents app. So this is the parent app. It's free for parents. They can download. They just go to the Google App Store, the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and they can get that. If we click into there, let me go back to the page that we see when we first log in. There we go. So there's this parent has got 2 children. We've got Alistair and David. This is what they see. They've got very limited options. They can click on their learning events to see all the observations that you've created. For those of you with babies, there's a daily diary option. So it's for things like nappy changes and sleep. So a lot of you won't need that. Then there's a parent contribution section and the gallery. So if I go into our parent contributions, we can add a new one. So let's say I want to add in a new parent contribution here, and I want to upload a new photo. So they can either obviously take a new photo or use an existing one. So I'm going to take a photo out the window here, take a photo. So there you can see we haven't got a very nice day in Edinburgh at the moment. And use that photograph. Oh God, there's recycling as well. That was badly placed for a webinar. Upload that file. There's only one photo for an observation, and the parent would then choose if they want to put it in their whichever category you've set up. So we've got achievements from home, news from home. So let's put that in news from home, and I'll just put recycling tomorrow. Remember that. Okay. So we save that, and that is our parent contributions done. So what I've been doing with my kids this week is I've been doing things like, well, we've been playing, we've done music lessons, we've done some dog, as I said, we've been telling the time, all that sort of thing. So let me share my other screen with you again. So when we come to Alistair's, was it news from home? We should now see the one that we just did. There we go. Yeah, so that's gone up there tomorrow. And it was raining by John, who's the parent of this child. And there we go. So those are parent contributions. Hopefully that's kind of straightforward. It's a feature we're continuously developing, and any tips or anything like that that you guys can think to make this work better, we'll make an effort to get those added as well. I'm going to go through some of the questions now that have come in since we started that. Who did we have there? So Claire asked, will the parent contributions be obvious what they are if they're amongst school observations? So yes, Claire, so what we want to do there, if I go back to the observations, so at the moment, hopefully you know, but there's observations and stories. So here's our observation here. Now, actually, probably won't have a story. Yes, so if you can see, we've got an observation here for this child back in from March, and then we've also got a story. So we've got observation in the green and story in the blue. The parent contributions will be something else. I'm thinking purple, but I don't know yet. We'll see how that works. There will also be a filter, because at the top here we can say I only want to see the stories, or you can do lots of different things with the filters and the buttons at the top. So we'll have that too. And I'm not sure if anyone's asked it, but what we want to be able to do also is enable you guys to add in curricular information to the achievements from home. So you could link it in some way to a curriculum. So you could add in experience and outcomes if you're in Scotland, or the EYFS if you're in England, or any other framework that you guys use. We could do that as well. So yeah, hopefully we'll get there, Claire. Laura, can the parent contribution link to next steps? They can't at the moment, but that'll be one thing that we would eventually hope to get to. And we, yes, so at the moment, no, it can't be done, but that's one way not to get done. Leslie Ann's asking, can you select more than one child? I'm not sure if that was in relation to messages. If it's in relation to messages, Leslie Ann, then yes, you can. You can send it to one child, to everybody, or certain groups. Okay, so hopefully that answered that question. Yes, it's only one photo for a home observation. So Claire asked, is it only one photo for a home observation then? And that is the case, yes. Chris is asking how many categories can be added. So I believe you're meaning there, Chris, how many blue buttons? Well, you can have as many as you want. So it could be, you could have my family or all about me, and we've got achievements from home and news from home. Anything you want, you can get creative with that. So there's a lot of difference that we can do there. Thanks, Leslie. And yes, it was relating to messages. So yes, you can send messages to one child, two child, 10 children, however many you want, or the whole lot of them. Let me see if I can find some other ones here. Lauren asked a question about messages. Do we get a notification of any undelivered messages? Unfortunately, no, we don't. So if the email address that you guys have entered for the parent is correct and they're able to access all that, then the message will be delivered. The only time it wouldn't be delivered if we've got an incorrect email address, or if they've if they've changed their email address or something like that. The notifications of any bounce messages, they're all due to our system, so that you wouldn't receive any of those either. The messages that get sent out, there's two methods that comes to the parent, either through the parent app that we had on that we showed you on here, or through the email. So we're trying to increase the number of channels. So if there are any incorrect email addresses, that would reduce the chance that the parents miss that message. So it's just an extra channel for you to get to the parents. Mary's asking, why do we need achievements from home and parent contributions? Well, Mary, you can just have, if you only want one blue button here, you can just have one blue button. They can be titled anything you want, so you could just call it parent contributions, or you could call it achievements from home. You can have as many of these or as little of these as you want, so there's no limit to that as well. Gemma saying you never knew about the blue box. Can the box be ticked to publish for all their friends to see? So these blue boxes, when we add them in, they're available to all children. So we can't limit the boxes that are available, which children see these blue boxes, your parent contribution section. So if I'm on Alice, if I go to Anya's profile, which is next to Alistair's, she will have exactly the same boxes down here, and all the other children will as well. So these boxes show for everybody, they're global, they'll show for all the children, and you can't limit them, I'm afraid, at the moment. So if that's a useful feature, we could certainly look at doing that, but it's not something we've been asked for yet. A couple of people have actually asked about stories here. So Kelly and Chris both asked about that. So I'll quickly touch on that. And just to let everybody know here, what we're going to be doing next week, we've got, I'm going to be doing sessions on other areas of the system. So it'll be from the basics of creating observations, some admin things for those of you who've got lots of children and need to manage those, our tracking system, our reporting system. So everybody who's here today, you'll get an email with invitations to those. We're going to try and do one a day next week. And we'll put an email out to all customers as well. So hopefully these sort of things are useful for you. But stories anyway, so the difference between an observation and a story. An observation is your significant point of learning. It's connected to a curriculum or a framework. It'll have E's and O's or whatever statements you'll be using. You'll have your traffic light ratings for your tracking, so your red, amber, greens, or whatever you decide to call that. The difference between that and a story is we found in our nursery that sometimes you just want to share something quickly with the parents, and that was why we created stories. So if we click on add a story for Alistair here, we use it for all sorts of things, but for example, birthday parties, or we've gone out to do something outside or outdoors, and we just want to share that quickly with the parent. We can put the description of our story in here. It's just one single page. So we were having fun outside. Please ignore that, whatever that says in the background. I don't know what it is. You can put optional learning in here if you want. There's optional child's voice as well. Then you upload a photo, you can attach a file, and then finish it. So with the observations, you've got several pages or several steps before you can publish that. With a story, it's just this one page here, and it gets it across. And a really great thing that I saw this week when I was speaking to a school, because obviously everyone's away, what the teacher did here was she created a video, and she created it as a video story. So she took a video of herself saying, "Hello class, missing you all. I hope you're all doing okay. Here's some work and some things that you can do." And it's just a 2-minute video that she created as a story. She then uploaded that video here and sent it to all of her class. And that was a really effective way, I felt, for her to keep in touch with that class of hers. And you could do that as a whole nursery, because there might be, we don't know how long the situation is going to last for. So it was a really good way, I thought, to keep in touch, and a bit more personal than just an email or a message as well. I really liked that. Okay, let's see where we are. When creating tabs for parents, can you select more than one child? I think I might have answered that one, Leslie, sorry. Claire has asked, so just to clarify, so achievements from home, all children can see all children. No, sorry, Claire, so I may have misled you there in that. So a parent can only see their own child's profile all the time. Anything that they upload to the parent contributions is that's only for their profile. So the only people that would see a parent contribution is that parent and the staff. Parents will never see, I can't imagine any scenario where we want to share observations so that every parent can see something else that a parent's done. So that's not the case. It's all just one parent for their own child's profile. Hopefully that kind of explains that one as well. So Corinne's asking, what's the difference between using a story and a message? So a story is something that lives on the child's profile. So if we create this story here, let's just publish that one. That will be on the child's profile. So when the child goes or the parent looks through the child's profile, they will see this story that we've created, and they can go back and they can see all the observations. Messages are just an instant message that comes out right away for you to get some information over to the parents. So before all this happened, we were suggesting it could be things like the car park's icy today, or remember that it's World Book Day coming up. Those sort of things would be good for messages. At the moment, messages can be used for so you can send out homework, you can do just keeping in touch messages, whatever, but the messages won't appear on this child's profile here. The only way that a parent can access their messages is by looking in their messages tab or on the app. And hopefully that's kind of clear there. Okay, they all keep coming in, these questions. So Lorna, are you hoping to look at filters on shared experiences from home? So to customize, to look at time and range. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I think, yeah, I know what you mean here. So when, hopefully I got to this earlier, but the moment you can see we've got a stories filter at the top here, we'll have another one for experiences from home so that we can look at that. And also when a parent comes to export their child's profile using the convert profile to PDF, they'll be able to you know, make certain selections on that. So I only want to see my parent contributions, or I only want to see from the last 6 months. In fact, we've got some of those features already. So yeah, when you create a PDF, you can say, well, I only want to get observations from a certain time period. So that's possible already. And hopefully, well, if there's suggestions you think that we should do, just send them in, because it's very likely we can get those things done. Yes, so Chris put a good point in there. A story is a record of experience, an observation is a record of learning, and that is a very good way of putting it, and I'm going to steal that, and I'll be using that in future webinars, so thanks very much, Chris, for that. Claire's asking, does this have a facility for assessment and to track process and attainment in line with EYFS curriculum? Yes, it does. So Claire, sorry, everything that we've done here is been for Alistair, who's on the Curriculum for Excellence. But we do have the full EYFS framework on the system as well. We've got lots of different frameworks. A lot of you will know that we can actually personalize and customize frameworks. And I'll be doing a webinar just next week on the tracking features. So Claire, you'll get an email about this because you're already signed up for this, but everybody will get an email about when those webinars are happening, and the tracking one's the one you'll want to look at there. Corinne, sorry, I was reading your message there. Maybe if you can, I'm not actually sure what you're asking there. So if you can contact me separately, and I'll get back to you on that one. Kirsty, are you able to show how to use learning tracking at some point? Yes, so we'll be doing one, Kirsty, on learning tracking next week. So you know, keep your eye out for that email. I'll make that maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Corinne, you've clarified it. So a message will stay on their profile. A message will always be visible. So the parent will see every message that's ever been sent if they go to their messages tab here. So I wouldn't consider that be on their profile, but they'll have access to it. So what I consider to be their profile is this page here. So this is Alistair's profile. So the messages don't appear in the it mixed in with the observations or the stories, and I don't think they ever will, but they will appear in this messages tab up the top here. So they'll always have that. Hopefully that answers that one. I think hopefully I've answered a lot of questions here. There might have been there's been quite a lot in here, and I hope I haven't missed any out or they've got mixed in somewhere. Oh, Alexandra's just added something, sorry. Has the video upload option some restrictions on the length? So that's a good one, good question, because no is the short answer. There isn't a restriction on the length, but what I would advise, because we haven't restricted the length because of the real decider for us is the size of the video file, and depending on the quality of your camera, that can change the size of that. So if you've got a really high quality video camera or phone or whatever it is you're taking on it, the file size is going to be much larger than if it's a lower quality video. So bear in mind that the larger the file size, the longer it's going to take for you to upload, and also process as well. That could maybe have implications on things like timeouts if you're doing a massive file, and maybe consider as well that, you know, how much of a video are these parents going to watch? The example I gave earlier, with the teacher doing the story. I think that was maybe like a minute to 90 seconds, something like that, just long enough for a parent to watch that. If you try and upload a sort of 20-minute long video of a nativity or something in the future, it probably won't work, and you'll probably get a timeout, and it'll cause us issues. As I tried to mention earlier, a lot of our system depends on the resources available to it, and if we have lots and lots of videos being uploaded and streamed and everything, we could struggle with that. We should scale as it happens, but we're not YouTube, unfortunately. So that's yeah, that's one of the reasons. Lauren is asking if she can export data. Yeah, there's lots of export options available already, actually, Lauren. So maybe if you want to get in touch with me after this, I can talk you through what those are, and I'll try and touch on those in one of the webinars that we do next week. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to try and wrap up now because we keep getting I keep getting driven down rabbit holes. Oh, sorry, I'll do Laura's because she has asked that a couple of times. Daily diaries, Laura, are for younger children, usually babies. If you're in a nursery with babies and you want to record nappy changes, sleeps, for example, then that's what this is for. So if I look at Alistair's daily diary, I'll just do very, very quickly for you. We can record some of those things. So I've got nothing for today, so I can give them a quick description of what's happened today. I can add in some activities. These are customizable, so you can add anything in here if you want to. Then if you want, also if your nursery provides food, you can add in a food menu, so you can say what they've eaten, what they've had to drink. Then you can put nappies and toileting details in here. So you can do this for one child, or there's another screen where you can do it for all individual children. So yeah, it's a free feature. If you want that added to your account, just let us know and we can do that for you. I guess on the subject of getting in touch with us, if you ever do need help, you can always click on your face up in the top right, and there's a help section here. We've got some frequently asked questions in there, but you can also, so there's frequently asked questions, but you can also type a message into this box here and submit that. That will come to us as an email and we'll get back to you. But we also do have obviously our website. So if I come to that, we've got our phone number at the top. So if you ever need anything, our phone number's there. It's very small, but yeah, you can ring that. And there's also a live chat feature as well. So we're usually on that pretty quickly, and within a couple of minutes if you've got a question. It should just pop up there in the bottom right here. Of course it hasn't. But anyway, we do have a live chat feature which will appear on the website, so you can send us a message instantly, and obviously by email and all the other ways that you can get in touch with us too. Hopefully you find that useful. You guys are doing an amazing job out there, and I think we've got the easier job just by supplying this solution to you. So keep it up really, and well done for making it through that first week. Okay, thanks everybody. We'll hopefully speak to you again next week. I'll send out those emails, and we'll have at least another 2 or 3 webinars next week that we can look at. All right, thanks everybody.